Hi everybody, welcome. So today's video is going to be all about Rare Beauty. And for those of you who don't know, Rare Beauty is a new makeup line that was created by Selena Gomez. As far as I know, the products are available on the Rare Beauty website as well as at Sephora, which is where I purchased my products. There are a ton of other videos and reviews on Rare Beauty out there, and for the most part, I've heard really good things about the brand, but for whatever reason, I wasn't super compelled to try anything from the line until they came out with these new eyeshadow palettes, and once I saw these, I was just kind of sucked in. So I decided to pick a few things up from the brand and give it a try. I do purchase all of these products myself, so I obviously can't afford to buy everything, but I do have their foundation, I have their liquid blush to try, as well as a lip balm, and then of course the eyeshadow palette. So I'm just going to be getting ready today using these products, and if you are interested in hearing more about Rare Beauty, then just keep on watching. Okay, so first things first, I'm obviously going to start off with the foundation. This is the Liquid Touch Weightless Foundation. I have mine in the shade 160C, and this retails for $29. This is supposed to be a buildable medium to full coverage foundation with a natural finish. So we're going to shake it up. The packaging is actually really nice on this. I believe it's a plastic bottle, but I mean, it feels pretty nice and pretty luxurious. So we've just got a big kind of doe foot applicator here. And according to the website, you're just kind of supposed to dot this all over your face, and then you can blend it in either with your fingers, it said, a sponge, or a brush. So really, however you prefer to apply your foundation, it sounds like you can do that. For me, I am a fingers person, so I'm going to blend this all out with my fingers and then go back in with a brush to kind of smooth it out. Like I said, this is supposed to be a buildable medium to full coverage foundation, and I actually have a few different blemishes at the moment, which is kind of the perfect time to test out a new foundation because I feel like we'll be able to accurately judge the coverage a little bit better if I'm trying to cover something up. So I'm just going to blend this out with my fingers, like I said, and then I'm going to go back in with a brush to kind of smooth it all out. I've got one layer of the product applied to my skin, and if I'm being honest, it didn't apply well with my fingers. Again, I typically just use my fingers to kind of spread the product around evenly on my skin. I just find that I can do that better with my fingers than with a brush. But it did not, I couldn't get it to actually like blend into my skin with my fingers. So I do think you'd probably need a brush or a sponge to kind of finish it off if you are somebody who typically only uses your fingers. Yeah, I didn't really like it with just my fingers. I don't know that you'd be able to blend it out all that well. As far as the coverage goes, I would say right now I am at a light to medium coverage. It didn't really provide any coverage even for these kind of light blemishes that I have on my cheeks. I also had a little bit of a blemish on my nose, and they're still peeking through. So for me, that's more light to medium. It does say that it's buildable though. So, I mean, to be fair, you're not supposed to get full coverage right out of the gate. I am going to build it up a little bit on those blemishes and see if I can get it to the full coverage. As far as the finish goes, I would agree that it's a natural finish. It honestly borderlines kind of natural matte. My face isn't sticky or tacky or anything like that. So yeah, I'm happy with the finish. And for the record, I have relatively normal skin. So I'm not overly oily or overly dry. And again, I'd say, yeah, this is sitting pretty natural matte on my skin right now. So again, I'm just going to go back in with a little bit more and kind of try to build this up in the center of my face a little bit to see if I can get some more coverage. Like I said, especially kind of on those blemishes. Just gonna go back in and blend it out with a brush since I didn't really like my fingers. We will see what happens here. So for this, I still don't think that even with kind of a second layer around my cheeks and on the blemishes, I still wouldn't consider this full coverage. I was able to build it up a little bit, but again, not to full coverage. As far as building it up, it doesn't look heavy or cakey. I feel like it was a little bit streaky, kind of blending it on top, so I had to work with it just a little bit, but overall I would say that it does build up quite nicely, again, just not to the full coverage. Overall, I am happy with it though. I'm not somebody who is typically looking for full coverage, so for me, the coverage that I did get along with the finish is really nice. This is their Liquid Touch Weightless foundation, and I would agree with that too. It feels really nice on the skin. Even in the areas that I tried to build it up a little bit, it doesn't feel heavy at all. So I do like, again, how this feels on my skin. I like the finish of it. Overall, I'm pleasantly surprised. So Rare Beauty does have a concealer as well, but I did not purchase that, so I'm just going to go ahead and finish up the rest of my face makeup really quick, and then we will be back to test out the blush. Moving on now to the cheeks and lips, I actually ended up purchasing one of their little trial size holiday sets for these two products. So in this set, it's a Best of Rare Beauty set. It's $15 and you get a trial size of their Soft Pinch Blush in the shade Bliss, and then you also get a trial size of their With Gratitude Dewy Lip Balm in the shade Thankful. Make no mistake, you guys, these are trial sizes, so you don't get a ton of product, but for somebody like me who just has a ton of makeup, I don't need full-size products, especially for the price. So I do think that you get enough product in each of these where you'd be able to try them out for a couple of weeks and decide whether or not you liked it enough to purchase the full size. So for $15, I don't think you can go wrong. We are going to give these a go. I'm going to start with the blush. Again, this is the Soft Pinch blush in the shade Bliss. This is kind of a really nudie peach shade, and this is the cutest, like, teeniest little doe foot applicator ever. It looks like a little lip gloss. In the full size blush, I believe that the doe foot is the same size as the foundation, so this, you know, you might have a better ease of application with the full size, but I'm just going to kind of dot this on the apples of my cheeks and then try to blend it back. I'm not sure, to be honest with you, if this is going to work best with my fingers or with a sponge. So I'm going to just try with my fingers here to kind of like pat this out. And I did set my face with a translucent powder already. That might have been a mistake. We'll see. The shade is really pretty. It's not blending super well. I think I need a little bit more product. It's looking a little bit patchy with my fingers, but that is my fault and not the fault of the product. I don't usually wear liquid blushes, so by no means am I a pro at the application. In fact, if anybody else has any tips for me on better ways to apply liquid blushes, please let me know in the comments. I would love some advice. Like I said, for the most part, I don't wear liquid blushes, liquid bronzers, things like that. I just prefer a powder because I think it's easier on a day-to-day basis. So I'm going to actually try, I have my sponge here. Let's see about this. Try with a brush. I'm still not, it's really patchy and it's not blending well. Again, though, I may have made the mistake of setting my face. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have done that, but oh well. We're here now, so let's figure it out. I think that blended out quite a bit better with a brush. Let's try it just with a brush on this side here and see what happens. I do really like the color, though. It's really pretty and it's like natural, again, kind of like a nudie peach, pink, mauve, all the colors. It's a really pretty, like, natural color, and it's much more pigmented than I thought. Looking at it in this little bottle, and if you look at it online too, if you look at the swatch of it, it looks pretty light, but I'm actually getting quite a bit of color payoff, which is nice. See if you can see that as I'm blending. My head's kind of turned so I can look in my mirror. I think it seems to be applying better overall with a brush. At least I like it better that way, I think. Yeah, I feel like with my fingers, I just like wasn't able to spread the product around enough. So with the brush, I'm getting a little bit softer of an application. It's not so concentrated right where I kind of pat it out with my finger. I'm gonna apply just a little bit more to the apples of my cheeks. I feel like it's a little uneven on both of my cheeks. And again, that's my fault for not really being a pro at applying these kinds of products. I do really like the color of this. Like I said, I think that it's really nice, kind of a natural nudie pink shade. It's the best way I can describe it. I don't know how else, but the color payoff was really nice with this. Again, it's when you look at it, and I believe this is the lightest shade of the blush that they have, so kind of when you look at it, I would have expected it not to provide that much color payoff, but it's really pigmented, so I'm pretty happy with that. And, yeah, if you have any tips for me on better ways to apply liquid blush, please let me know. I'm not too happy with my application method, but I do like this product. Again, problems I had with application are my own for being inexperienced and not the fault of the product. It was actually with the brush, I liked it over here. It was really easy to blend out. And again, I really like this color. It's not overly dewy either. And that's one of the problems, or one of the reasons, I guess, that I don't typically like liquid blushes, is because I don't like that dewiness right on my cheeks. I feel like it kind of accentuates the pores and stuff like that. But this is actually matte. So there's really no dewiness, no shininess that you can get with some other liquid blushes. Now for the most exciting part, the eyes. This is the Rare Beauty Magnetic Spirit eyeshadow palette. It retails for $25, and they actually have two different palettes. So I picked up, again, Magnetic Spirit, which is the more kind of purpley one, and then they also have one that was geared more towards the bluish kind of green shades. For colors from left to right here, we have Ablaze, Ignite, Power, Clarity, Grounded, and Passion. So as far as this eyeshadow palette goes, this is actually not a first impression for me. I have played around with this and I have used it. I do think the shades in here are really unique. I don't really have anything like it in my collection. For me, the one kind of downfall with this palette is that these are all either metallic or shimmer. So you don't really have any neutral shades and you don't have any matte shades. So as far as versatility goes, it's not going to be the most versatile palette, at least not for me. Typically on kind of an everyday basis, I would prefer something that incorporates the mattes and more sort of neutral shades just to create a more natural look, I suppose. So for me, while I think this is really beautiful, it's probably going to be more of a special occasion type palette for me. The formula of these shadows is also super nice. One of the things they kind of advertise is that they are really like creamy, buttery shadows, and I do agree with that. You can tell when you kind of feel them in between your fingers. They are very soft, they're very velvety, they apply really nicely, which you'll see in a minute. So overall, I am very pleased with the actual formula of these shadows. If they decide to come out with a palette that is more kind of neutral, geared towards everyday, I will be all over it with these formulas because I think they are really nice. So for the purposes of this video, because this is more of a kind of glam, dramatic palette, I'm going to do something kind of crazy on the eyes with all the purples. I do find that to get the best color payoff, you do need to use your fingers with this. They do call this also a buildable eyeshadow palette, so if you did want something that was a little bit softer, a little bit more sheer, if you used a brush with these, that would be a really nice application method too. You're just not gonna, I found that you're not able to pack the color as well with a brush. So if you're going for kind of the really vibrant colors that you're getting in the pan, you definitely want to use your finger, which is what I'm going to do right now. So for the lid, I'm going to go in with this kind of medium purple shade here called Grounded. And again, I'm just going to take my finger, kind of rub it in there, and then just sweep this all over my lid. And I'm going to try to avoid the inner corner as much as I can because I'm going to put a different shade there. Again, these are just, the formula of these is super nice. They live up to the claims of, like I said, being very buttery, very soft, very blendable. I haven't had any problems with that, and they feel really nice. Now that I have that shade kind of placed on my eye and the color intensity is where I want it to be, I'm just going to take a crease brush and kind of just blend it out a little bit to soften it up and make sure it's not so harsh on the edges. All right, so we've got a nice wash of purple all over the lid, and then to brighten up the inner corner, I'm going to go in with this iridescent shade here, Passion, and I'm just going to use my pinky and I'm going to focus this. I'm going to stamp it kind of like right into my inner corner. I hope that you can see this on camera because it is super pretty. Like, again, just that iridescence. I don't have anything like this, and it's super pretty. I could see myself just wearing this iridescent shade kind of lightly all over my lid on the days I'm feeling a little bit more adventurous because I think it's super pretty. So we've got that iridescent shade kind of packed into the inner portion of the eye just to brighten it up. And now I'm going to try something kind of crazy because why not? And I'm going to use our kind of deep purple shade here, and I'm going to use that kind of as a liner, I guess, if you will, on the top, and I'm going to use it on my lower lash line and just kind of create a, I guess, more smoky effect. I don't know, we'll see. So I'm just going to take a small little pencil brush for this one. Okay, so that shade is pretty intense. It's very deep, it's very pigmented, so I'm just going to blend a little bit to soften it up. I'm just kind of taking a big, clean, fluffy brush, and especially on my lower lash line, it's a little bit harsh, so I just want to soften it up a little bit. And then the last thing that I'm going to do to just kind of blend sort of that inner corner and the outer corner together is I'm going to go back again with the shade that we used for our lid, and I'm going to put that in the middle sort of my lower lash line. I did tell you that this look was going to be a little bit more bold and dramatic, and that is exactly what we got. So to finish this off, I'm just going to go ahead and apply some mascara. All right, you guys, so the last product that I have is the With Gratitude Dewy Lip Balm. Again, this is in the shade Thankful. So I have actually used this before. I really like it. It is super smooth, super velvety. It does feel like a true lip balm on your lips, but it's actually more pigmented than you would think. It was definitely more pigmented than I had imagined. You know, calling it a balm, I expect a little bit more sheer of a color, but this is very pigmented, and I have to be honest, this color in particular is probably not the most flattering with the eye look that I've got going on, but I still wanted to put it on just so you guys could see the color. Like I said, this does, true to their word, it does feel like a lip balm. It immediately, the texture of it reminds me of Soft Lips chapstick. If you've used that, it feels kind of the same, like really soft, really velvety, really smooth. So I do really like the way that this feels on my lips. Like I said, though, the one thing that threw me off with a balm, I guess I was expecting and kind of preferred a more sheer type color, but this is very pigmented, so if you like really pigmented balms, then you probably like this. Like I said, this color isn't probably the best match for the eye look that I've got going on right now, but again, I still did want to use it for you guys so you could see the color and kind of how it looks on the lips in case you were interested in this particular shade. That is going to complete our look today using Rare Beauty. I hope that you enjoyed seeing some of these products in action and that you found it helpful. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below. I would really appreciate it. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.